Good morning. I'd like to welcome everyone to our webinar for QuickBooks Windows version 19. My name is JoAnne Evans. I am with a company called Big Hairy Dog Information Systems. We sell and support QuickBooks Point of Sale and have been for about 20 years. We also offer different options as far as accounting support and accounting software, and definitely would love to assist any of you with your point of sale or accounting needs. To begin, a small introduction on Big Hairy Dog. We've been supporting retail customers now for almost 28 years. February will be our 28th anniversary. We specialize in point of sale. We have found out over the years with merchants who have purchased point of sale systems that one of the big lag areas tends to be in training and support. So Big Hairy Dog does offer training and support for all of our systems, including, of course, QuickBooks Point of Sale. When you do come on board with Big Hairy Dog, we actually assign you a dedicated trainer who will take you from soups to nuts with this system so that you will be able to get the best return on your investment with your software. There's no point in having a great software and inventory management system if you don't know how to use it. So we make sure that all of our customers know the system and do get the best return. What I'm going to start with today is we will be running through basically the steps that your trainer would take you through. I'll be referring back to certain features that might be something that would be specific to your company, that I have them set up for demo purposes, so there may be some differences there. But we'll start with the view of the system that you see here. So I'm just going to get the screen. Let's see. Looks like we lost our screen here. There we go. All right. So this is the screen. As you boot into QuickBooks Point of Sale, this is what you're going to see here. And as you can see, it's very well laid out. It's very simply laid out. Be easy to navigate through. I know we have a lot of customers who are nonprofits, and a lot of their sales associates are volunteers who tend to be elderly, and as you can see from this, that it would be easy for them to navigate through. The nice thing is that it's easy to use, but also very robust in the reporting end of the software. Over here we have our messages, and just would like to point those out. One of my favorite items is sticky notes. You should see my monitor, but actually these are very helpful notes. You see here that I have the tech support information available. That way, if any associates need any assistance, they can call Big Hairy Dog. And what they're going to find when they do call Big Hairy Dog is a live person that'll be answering the phone to assist them. Here we have our inventory reminders. That would be any reminders on your inventory items that need to be ordered. New pricing, new items will pop up in this inventory reminder list. If you like a little more organized look, you can actually change the look of this, and then you can also hide this window so you have the full screen to operate on. This system is a desktop application. It's installed in a Windows-based device. It will run on a tablet. It'll run on a desktop. It'll also run on a laptop. So it's a very versatile software. So to get started here, our text will take you through the building blocks of getting to the information that you're looking for in your inventory management, which will be in your reports. And you can see here we have our point of sale section. We have our purchasing section. We have our employee, and then over here on the right-hand side, we have our operations. And on the left, we have our action buttons. All of these items are built in, all these components are built into the software. Your inventory management and your item list, your reporting, your customers, your customer rewards. This is all built into the system. What you're going to find when you're going out there looking at different systems is most other systems out there, those are added components. So you'll get the basics, ring up a sale, maybe purchase items, add items, but a lot of the other systems will charge extra for the reports or for additional reports and for your customer management as well as for your employee management. So all of these components are built into the QuickBooks Point of Sale. Let's start with our building blocks for our reporting, and we're going to start with our department list here. And you can see you can have virtually as many departments as you want or as you need, but we generally recommend that you start with about 20. And what that does, it keeps the information that's going over to your reports from getting too diluted. And in our departments, we have our department code, depending on how you want to track your items and how you want to show. You can actually show this information on your tags, on your printed tags, barcode tags for your items. We have our department here, and you see I have it broken down into casual wear women. With the system, it gives you basically the option to do a sub-department to some degree. Excuse me, with the tax. Now in my case, it has my local tax, would be my city tax, my county tax, and my state tax. And this would be an area where your trainer would assist you in setting up your tax depending on how your items are taxed. Your margin and your markup. So let's take a little closer look at this. And this is what's going to influence the pricing of your items that are going to be listed in this department. In this case, I have a margin of 70%. So this is the percentage of the margin that I want to, excuse me, to make on my items, so the margin of profit that I want to make on the items I'm selling. This would be the markup based on the margin. And as I change that, then of course your markup will change too based on the percentage and vice versa. So let's, now that we take a look at our departments here, let's go back to our home page, and we can always bounce back to our home page with our little home button up here. And from our department list, our next step would be our vendor list. So in our vendors, again, you can have virtually as many vendors as you need. Over here on the right-hand side, you see the vendor details. This is all information that will be available in each vendor file. You have, of course, the contact information, the vendor settings, so that would be your account number, your terms. Over here on the right-hand side is your history. So everything you've ever done with this vendor, everything you've received from them is going to be listed in their history. If you duplicate purchase orders, you can actually double-click on that purchase order and create a duplicate of that purchase order with all of the pertinent information. You can change your quantities. You can add additional items to that if you wanted to do so. With this system, it does integrate with your Outlook account, and you can email your vendor directly if you have if you have their, of course, their email information. The templates that you use to email your purchase orders, your sales receipts, that is something that your trainer would assist you with to make sure that the information in there is reflective of your company. Close this information here. Getting back to our vendors, over here in the center we have custom fields. You have 7 customized fields. This can be something, of course, that you would work again with your trainer with to determine if and how you're going to be using these fields. But the good news is any information that is in the white and gray areas, this information is all reportable. So you can pull up reports on all of this information. Also here in the center, we have our vendor notes. Those are notes that you might want to add to that vendor that may relate to or when you order or when you can receive them. And going back to our home page here, and let's see. So from our vendor list, let's go ahead and take a look at our item list. And I'm going to pause this for just a moment here. Whoops. Get our screen back here. There we go. All right. So from we have our department set up now, and we have our vendors. Let's go ahead and take a look at our item list. And you see up here on the top row, we have definitely we can customize this look depending on the columns that you want to see or the information that you want to see in your item list. We can add or remove columns very simply. Let's go into add a back order report here. And you can rearrange the columns. You can make the columns larger or smaller. So the way I have mine set up at this point is with my item numbers, item names, as you can see here. You can sort by columns, so you could sort by item number. You can sort by quantity on hand, so if you want to check to see what you have for any given item. And let's go ahead and take a look at what information is available in our, let's see, we'll go ahead and do that. In our items list here. So as you can see, let's go ahead and select something we've actually sold here. So this is our sports jersey. It's item number 6746. And here we have our basic information. Over here we have additional information. We have the vendor, the order cost, etc. And we'll take a look at this a little more closely in just a moment. What I wanted to point out, though, in an item that we've already sold is everything that you've done with this item. Every time you've purchased it, every time you've sold it, everyone you've sold it to is going to be listed here in the history. You can pull up that information as well. In this case, we've made a cost adjustment and we've received this item, but we haven't actually sold this item. So let's go ahead and add an item. And we can select the item name. So let's call it men's jersey, for example. And we can actually add a picture to the item if we wanted to do that. Let's see, don't have a jersey, but let's select the t-shirt here. And we have different types of inventory. So obviously this would be an inventory item, but you can also include non-inventory items, service items, assemblies, or groups, depending on how you want to build your items. So we'll go ahead and select our men's casual wear. For this item, we can put in a description. We can add our size and color. And let's do white. Over here, we're going to bounce over here to our vendor. So we'll select our vendor. We can put our order cost here. We can set a reorder point. And if you'll recall the blue tag that was on the notices at the beginning of the presentation for our inventory reminders, if you set a reorder point for this item and it reaches that, when it reaches that reorder point or below, that will pop up in that inventory reminders list. So you have a reminder of when you need to order your items. So in this case, we'll go ahead and select 5. The system generates a unique item number, which prevents you from having a customer come in with a similar item that they purchased at a different store and trying to return it at yours. You can track alternate lookup information on this particular item. You can also track UPCs in this system. Excuse me. You can have multiple measures of units of measure. So if you purchase this item in bulk and you sell it individually, you can track your bulk costs as well as your individual prices. You can have track your manufacturer. From our shelf location information down to custom 5, these are all custom fields. Again, this would be something that you would work with your trainer to help you, to assist you to set up. With the QuickBooks Point of Sale, if you have an integrated credit card processor through Intuit Merchant Services, there is a free mobile app that you can use. It's an app that you can download onto any mobile device, and you can use it off-site. You can use it at trade shows, trunk shows, sidewalk sales. A lot of my customers last year, were using it for curbside. So it's very versatile depending on what your needs might be, but it is a great tool that comes with the system and the merchant services. So we could select that to be one of the items that we are going to be selling with our mobile app. With e-commerce, and this is one of the new features of QuickBooks version 19, is it comes with an onboarding to, there are 8 different shopping carts for e-commerce, and we partner with a company called Webgility, who they have built the bridge between QuickBooks Point of Sale and 8 different e-commerce sites. So you can actually track your e-commerce sales as well as your in-store sales. Over here we have our miscellaneous information. The system does have a tag printing capability. You can also set it up that for your staff to earn commission, and you can also set it up for your customers to earn rewards for this item. We can schedule, set up for local tax. This may be an item that's non-taxable. You can actually select that if it is. And of course, the tax codes we discussed earlier, that would be something that your trainer would assist you in setting up to accommodate your local taxes. In this case, we set an order cost of $15. So we're going to put the average unit cost of $15. And if you'll recall, when we were going through the departments, that we set our margin and our markup. Well, this is where this comes into play. And we can, when we add our costs, then it's going to suggest a price based on the margin and the markup that we added in our department. We could change it at this time if we wanted to round it off. If we sell everything for $0.99, we could add that to, and of course that will change the margin and markup for this particular item and not for the department. Quantity on hand. This is a new item we are just entering, so we don't have any on hand at this moment, but we'll see how easy it is to order this item in just a few minutes. So now we have this item in small and we have it in white, but maybe we're going to carry this item in different sizes and different colors. We can actually create a style grid within the QuickBooks Point of Sale. Let's see, there we go. So right now we have our sizes of small, and we have our attributes of white, and we can add our sizes here. And let's say we have it in black and white. And maybe we're going to carry it in blue. So this is the grid. These are the sizes and these are the colors of this particular item that we are going to be carrying. We don't have any on hand at this point since it is still a new item, but we are going to populate the grid to let the system know that we do want to carry, we want to show all of these items in our item list. So the system itself will go ahead and it will assign an item number for each combination. So our small, medium, and large and white, each one will have an item, as well as the black and the blue. So now that we've saved this item, if we look here, we've got our men's jersey, which is the item we just added. And you can see that we have it in white, black, and blue, in small, medium, and large. And currently, if we look to our quantity on hand column, we don't have any on hand. We haven't designated this to an online store or e-commerce. We have our regular price. We have our cost. We have any back order information. As I said, you can add or remove columns to this listing depending on what your flow and what makes sense for your business. So now we've added these items. Let's see how simple it is to order them. And we can just highlight those items, select over here on our action items to order these items. And the system will create a purchase order for us. So we have our vendor, so we'll go ahead and populate our vendor here. Currently we have one ordered, but we set a reorder point of 5. So let's go ahead and order more of each one. Over here, if we have a store location, we can order it from our headquarters store and have it delivered to any of our other remote stores. We have our order date here, our ship date here. We can assign our associates. Down here in the lower left-hand corner, we have our the summary for the purchase order, any instructions we want to give the vendor, and our terms here. And we can save this, or we can save and print. And of course, the print template is going to be something that you work with your trainer to set up for you so that it reflects your business. In this case, we can email it directly to the vendor. And I know nowadays a lot of vendors, you don't need to create a purchase order, that you can just order online. But we do suggest the purchase order process because it will give you a paper trail for when you ordered that item, what exactly you ordered, and when you expect to see it. And we'll see how that's tracked in just a moment. So we're going to go ahead and save this. Now, if we go back to our home page, you can see here under our purchase orders that it's indicating that we have an open purchase order. We'll select that. And these would be there would be a list here of the open purchase orders. We can view all of our purchase orders. We can view it by day or month, or we could create a filter for viewing our purchase orders. Excuse me. But let's go ahead and we'll do our open orders. We'll let the system know we want to receive these items. We'll select all and continue. Now our purchase order automatically becomes a receiving voucher. We do not have to create a new form to receive these items. It'll show all of the items, all the attributes and sizes and description of the items. We can also add or remove columns to our purchase orders and to our receiving vouchers. We see that we have the quantity that we ordered here. As we inventory our receiving vouchers, if we received fewer than what we ordered or more than what we ordered, we can indicate that on the receiving voucher. And for example, let's say we received only 5 of these items, so we can reduce that number here. Now the purchase order will remain open until we receive this item or until we close that purchase order. So if we are doing shipping, if we are adding shipping to our orders, you can add shipping or discounts to the items. You can spread the cost or the discount over all of the items, which would then change the pricing, and it would also change the margin and markup. And you can, within this system, let's go ahead, we'll add freight here. Let's say it was $25. We're going to spread that out over the items. What happened here? So now our cost is going to be different on these items. So we can make adjustments if we want to edit or return. But we'll go ahead and just save it as is. We're going to keep the information here. So these are the quantities that we've ordered. So now from our receiving voucher, we can go in and we can actually print our tags right from the receiving voucher. And just to preview, and again, setting up your tags would be something that you would work with your trainer on establishing. So here on this particular, as a sample, I have the name of the shop. We have the name of the item. We have the description. We have the pricing. We have the size and attribute. And then here is our barcode with our unique item number. And in this case, I have when I printed up this order. So if you have items that you have on the shelf that are newer, you can determine which ones are newer and which ones are older, and you can put the older items out if you wanted to track it by time. It's just one of the options that you have. You could also have your UPC number on here. You could have your alternate lookup information on here. So there's different information that you could have on your tags if it was something that worked out best for you. Again, that would be something you would work with your trainer to establish. So now we can print our tags here. We'll save our items. Now if we go back to our item list and we look up our men's jersey, But we can see that now we have on hand, we have 6 of our blue, our black, and our white on hand, except for the one white one that we were short on. And if you look over here, we can actually add a column. Well, I have a column here for on order. You can see we still have 1 on order for this item. All right, so now that we've created our departments, we've set up our vendors, we've actually added an item, let's go ahead and see how simple it is to make a sale. We kind of like to brag about it being a 7-second sale, and it probably would be if I didn't talk so long, but there are some important features I'd like to point out in the sales receipt to make it, to show you what you can do within the sales receipt. So here we have our sales receipt. There's one of the options that I'd like to point out too. It's called the quick pick items. So if you have items that are too big for the customers to bring up, or they're too small to tag, or they may be donations, or they may be display items. It could be services that you offer, tailoring or alterations, or tickets, or depending on, again, what is going to make the most sense to you and your business. You can add quick pick groups to the sales receipt, and you can actually add items to those groups here, and then you can actually pull up that item directly from the quick pick group. With your items that are scanned, your inventory items, at this point you would scan the item, but we'll go ahead and let's search for an item here. So I look for a men's jerseys. And let's go ahead and select one of the items that we just added. And we can add a few more items to that. And so here we have our items with our totals over here. Now, one of the nice things about the QuickBooks Point of Sale is you can access your customers right from within the sales receipt. So let's go ahead and take a look at this is our customer list here, and we'll select one of our customers. So Karen Elizabeth. Now, from this information, we can see that Karen is a member of a rewards program, and she has $47.98 left to purchase before her next reward is earned. And this is a great sales tool. Your sales staff can bring that up to your customer and perhaps upsell on this sales receipt. You have your contact information, the phone number and email address. You can verify that with your customer. If you have an in-house account, you can track that information as well. So you can see that she does have a $100 credit and her current balance is 0. Over here under history, you see that her last sales receipt was on December 3rd. And if there are any notes here, you can see that Karen is one of Sandy's friends. If there's any information in here that needs to be adjusted, you can actually, from within the sales receipt, depending on the permission that you give your sales associates, but you can go in and edit this information. So if Karen is changing her phone number, so we can change her phone number. You can add a mobile, obviously. So you can track their mailing address information. You have 7 custom fields here in the center. So depending, again, on how you want to track your customers, in this case, I have a birth date in there. I also have marketing source. The good news is I can pull up reports on this information as well. We also have the history. So everything that Karen has purchased with us is going to be listed here in her file. Again, you could pull up any of this information, pull up a receipt if she's lost a receipt and she needs a duplicate, or if she needs to exchange something and you need to pull up a receipt with that item in there, you can do that from her history. Under customer settings, we have a customer ID. You can actually create a customer ID card that has a barcode on it that can be scanned and pulls up the customer information. Over here we have the rewards information. So you can see Karen has earned a lot of rewards by purchasing with us. And over here we have her rating. So this gives us the rating of this customer. And again, to reiterate, all of this information in the white areas is reportable. One of the other things I'd like to point out is customer type. You can have multiple customer types depending on, again, on what works best for you. In a lot of cases, a lot of my customers will give veterans a discount at their store. You can set that up within their account here. We can go ahead and we can edit the discount. We can add a discount. Say we're going to give her a 5%. Or we can have a markdown price level for this customer. So you can set your price levels here. We'll go ahead, just to uncomplicate things, we'll just do none for now. Of course, you can indicate whether you're accepting checks, and you can also change the tax location and to indicate if this is a tax-exempt customer. And you can also track by company. So if you have companies that you work with and representatives from the companies, you can track them as a company as well. So now we have our information here. We've got the purchase information. If we wanted to, and depending on permissions again of your sales associates, we could go in and discount individual items. We could discount the entire order. And we can also change the price level for this order. So so now we have the bulk of the information here. Let's go ahead and get to the tender. So what's nice with QuickBooks Point of Sale is that you can have multiple forms of payment. If the system is integrated with the merchant services account, the nice thing is with your credit cards that your sales associates only have to indicate the payment method, and they don't have to input the sales amount onto a separate terminal. I'm going to remove that for right now. So we're going to go ahead. So say our friend Karen here, she's going to pay, she has $20 that she wants to put toward this, and she's going to pay maybe $100 on her Visa card. And she's going to pay the balance, let's see, on her MasterCard. So that shows a total payment and a total amount due. She could also pay with a debit card. You can also pay with gift cards. With the merchant services, there's an integrated gift card option. So you could issue and redeem gift cards with the system. You can also, within the system, you can create gift certificates and give the customer their discounts from there. So with this system, with this new version, you could actually email all of this information directly to your customer without printing up a paper receipt. I know many states now are going paperless, so you have that option within QuickBooks Point of Sale. Let's take a look, though, at what the receipts could look like, just as an example. So, of course, you'd have your store information. You have the bulk of the items here that are purchased. You have your tender information here, and it shows the rewards information here and any other messages that you'd like to have on the receipt. You could add a coupon if you wanted to the receipt. So just again, depending on what you wanted to show on your receipt, that would be something that your trainer would assist you with in getting that set up. So that's our 7-second sale in about, what, 20 minutes? So, but as you can see, it's a very simple process, a very quick process. The customer comes to the register, you scan the item, you pull up the customer information, you take the tender, you email it or print up the receipt, and the customer is on their way. So one of the end results of all of this work on setting up your departments and your items and tracking your sales is going to be in your reporting. So let's go to our report center here. And one of my favorite features about QuickBooks Point of Sale is the dashboard. So this is a culmination of all of your favorite reports or all of your required reports that you want to see on a daily basis or at a moment's notice. So you can see you have reports, you have graphs. all within the click of one button. You have all of this information. If you need to refer back to the item, you can click on the full report and it will open up that report as it was saved. This is a listing of all the reports within QuickBooks Point of Sale. You can see you have your sales, your cash drawer report, which would be the end of the day report. You can break your payments down and pull up reports, your gift cards, your debit cards, your credit cards, gift certificates, your customers. These are the reports that are available for your customers. It tracks your orders, your layaways, sales orders, and work orders, and also tracks your reward program. You can list your customers in a different graphics. You can break it down by zip code if you're doing mailing. And just to let you know too, that QuickBooks Point of Sale does integrate with Constant Contact. So if you do email campaigns for promotions or sales, that you can directly send this information to your Constant Contact account. And your items, of course, you have your item summaries. You can track multiple stores, any adjustments you have on items, any transfers. Of course, you have your inventory turn and your valuation, all of that information. And then I mentioned the mobile sales. You can track your mobile sales as well. I'd like to point out back here in the sales that you can show your inventory by channels, sold by channels. That is where the tracking your online sales would come in. That's where you would find that information. You can also, in your purchasing, you can track all of your purchasing. Your employees, you can track if you're paying commissions, if you're tracking your customer sales, you can track that. You can also collect tips within the system. For your time cards, for your payroll, you have your weekly timesheet you can pull up. You can pull up your detail in your time clock summary. And we'll take a look at the employee information in just a little bit here. So any of these reports that you've modified, then you can save over here in your memorized reports. So if you've created a sales report for your most common returns, you've modified it by adding a column. You can save this report, and we'll call it today's most common returns. We'll save that. So if we look over here under our memorized reports, we see our today's most common returns with the modifications that we've made. Obviously, we haven't taken a lot of returns here. And now we can go ahead and we can move this over to our dashboard. So let's see. So we can move it if we wanted to move it forward. Let's see where our report went here. There we go. So we can move this report up to front and center. So now it's the first report that we're going to see when we open our dashboard. So that's QuickBooks Point of Sale in a nutshell. If any of you have any questions, please feel free to chime in here. If not, I definitely would love to touch bases with each of you and to give you a little more information one-on-one. If you have any questions, of course, you're always welcome to reach out and one of us will get back to you as soon as possible. This is a great system. Over 90,000 merchants are using this throughout the U.S. Definitely would love to see this in your store. And I thank you again for joining me. Again, my name is JoAnne with Big Hairy Dog Information Systems. And the rest of you have a lovely day.